watching Nick Faldo as part of the commentary team on air for the Masters over the weekend. It was good to have that just that different sense of what was going on. What's your take on where McIlroy is?
I think this is going to take him a long time to get over. I felt he took the wrong attitude on Saturday night when he tried to turn it into this Ryder Cup Part 2. I'm going to call out Patrick Reed. All the pressure's on Patrick Reed. He has to sleep on this lead. He's the only one who could throw away the Masters. Oh, and if he does that, he's never going to get over it. Whereas actually, he didn't need to say anything. Rory McIlroy is a far better golfer than Patrick Reed is. Just go out, keep your head down. I just wonder, was he too pumped? He does seem to like to get into this sort of zone right now, McIlroy, where he is giving it a bit of a chest pump every now and again. Or just settle down and play good golf. And also, his putting let him down time and time again. He hadn't missed a single putt inside 5 feet all week until that eagle putt on the second hole. 36 out of 36 until that putt. So for all Brad Faxon can do, maybe it is just when the heat is really on, and it's never been on more than it is in the final round of the Masters, that his technique goes, that he goes back to the old mistakes that we've seen over the last little while. If he can take one positive, well, at least he still knows he can play Augusta. He knows he can put himself into contention. He knows he's going to have another 32 chances, I think it is, to win the Masters before he turns 60. So surely he's going to get another opportunity. But that really does feel like a missed opportunity to go and put a little bit of pressure on Patrick Reed.
Courtesy of Fancy Bears, we know that Patrick Reed had a TUE for ADHD medication, which ran out in August 2017. Do we know if he's still on the same medication, which of course gives you better concentration, better focus, and ability to, tune out the outside noise and a lot of other things that might be helpful around the constraints of Augusta?
Well, firstly, we don't know if he's had his TUE renewed. I don't think he's ever even been asked about this TUE. It sort of went under the radar. Both himself and Justin Rose were named at the same time. Justin Rose had a well-publicised back injury he was getting painkillers for, whereas Patrick Reed, when it came out, this was because he represented America in the Olympics, is the reason that this became public, this drug Vivance, which again brings up that old question about TUEs as to whether the TUE should be a leveler. So if he does suffer from ADHD and it gives him a certain calmness and it brings him down to a normal level, well, that's fine. But the question is, with a sport like golf, where your nerves and everything is about being able to hold your nerve in the final round, does it give you an advantage? And the most interesting thing about Patrick Reed's TUE is the date that he was given it. The 15th of August, 2013. Round 1 of the 2013 Wyndham Championship. 4 days later, he wins his first ever PGA Tour event, beating Jordan Spieth in a playoff.
Lucky, isn't it?
Well, again, maybe he would have been winning these tournaments 2 years earlier, but for the problems he was suffering, maybe it was just a leveler, maybe it was just that thing he needed. But the very fact that it was first issued on that Thursday of the Wyndham Championship, and he goes and he beats Jordan Spieth of all people, the man who, when you think about someone who can in a playoff keep his head, well, I'm just surprised he's never been asked about it in any of these press conferences. I
mean, Spieth is recognised as the best competitor by his peers on the tour, and it's like suddenly you can't beat Patrick Reed, flaky Patrick Reed's not flaky anymore.
Well, and he wins 4 tournaments. Then he goes and he wins 4 tournaments in the next 15 months.
It's a great compliment to Jordan Spieth, is what I'm taking from that. That's all I'm saying.
Why has he never been asked? This is ridiculous. Like, what are the golf hacks doing that no one's going, you have this thing which helps you play better golf. Can you explain, when did you get ADHD? Why do you need it? When were you diagnosed? Can you show us the documentation that you were diagnosed as a kid? Maybe we can go and talk to your parents. Maybe your mum and dad finally have something to say about your own golf career as a kid.
Well, his parents have been talking, I think, to Alan Shipnuck, and his family have been talking to them. It seems like a very simple thing to ask him, because maybe Patrick Reed could sit there and go, actually, I really struggled with this for years and years, and maybe it is one of the reasons that I've had some problems in the past. And actually, that week, I got into a state and a feeling that other golfers talk about. I suddenly felt normal. But at least ask the question and at least go and explain it.
Yeah, I'm delighted that Patrick Reed is the Masters champion. Golf has a villain again that we can all get behind and root against.
Who was the last golfing villain?
I guess Tiger.
Nah. Maybe people who don't like golf.
Bubba's a golf villain.
Yes. Yeah, well, who was the first man waiting on the side of the 18th?
Well, they're buddies.
Patrick Reed.
They're
Bubba.
buddies. Apparently, Patrick Reed sought the counsel of Bubba Watson to try and get him over one of the things he was accused of.
One of the many, many things he was accused of.
Right. We got to go.
Yeah, all right.
Nathan, good stuff. Golf Weekly again this week, reflecting on the Masters that was.
I guess we will have to, yeah. We will be talking about Jordan Spieth and how he broke my heart.
And your wallet. For the record, 50-1 tip right here from John Duggan on Thursday. Patrick Reed, $5 each way. Thanks very much. Boom. That's what the good golf tipping is at these days. On Off the Ball AM, not on Golf Weekly.
You're trying to up the ante. We'll see. We'll be back next week. This is a great tournament coming up at Hilton Head. GMAC is your man. We'll have all our tips on Golf Weekly, Ger.